They said no. He said go. The best encouragement you can ever get in life is when a dad encourages his son. Encourage your son. That's what he did for us. I'd sure like to have a drum roll right now, because I'm going to talk about the greatest mother in the world. Am I going to cry? You got to be kidding me. You don't know my mom and daddy. Gloria Green, baby. Gloria Green. She told me a story one day. I was about 10 years old. She said, you know, the day you were born, I was in the room there, and they had me up on these things, and nothing was happening. You wasn't doing anything, and everybody left out of the room maybe 20, 30 minutes. And all of a sudden, she heard a scream. Somebody said, catch that baby. She said, you're about to hit the ground. Our parents were the best. They were the best. To the most football knowledgeable, faithful, most caring folks in the world, the Redskins faithful, our fans. We share this day with all of you, here and all over the world, back home and everywhere else. God bless you. I'll say to you something that is two things that I know. Number one, no matter how gifted you are, how hard you work, there's no one willing to give you an opportunity. It doesn't mean a thing. Secondly, I believe that this day is a part of the continuation of God's sovereign purpose. I belong here. I belong here. I belong here. I belong here because I know what to do with it. I know what to do with God's fame, with God's dollars, with God's visibility, God's influence, the relationships. I know what to do with it.
Not forget a fundamental principle in all of this. Let's make sure we don't forget it.
Let me finish.
Okay, let me just say this and then you finish.
All right.
Don't forget that the fundamental principle in all of these issues like this is that there's constantly a whitewash of culture.
People are wearing commemorative merchandise that look like you and your culture. Would you be offended by it, or would you feel a sense of pride by it?
I think I will be offended.
Okay, why?
Because I have to be the one to authenticate. I have to be the one to okay that move. You didn't run it by me. You didn't say that was okay. You just did it.
Okay.
So I think it goes to the point of, and see if there's a connection here. Let's just say that you were in a, metropolitan area. There are 25 hair salons and 15 of them are owned by Chinese women.
Okay.
I'm talking about ethnic hair salons.
Yeah.
Would the authentic community, the true women of color community, would they feel some type of offense to that? I think so.
So I want you to step in those shoes and say that you went and talked to them. It's not speculation. It's not like swept under the rug. It's out in the open where everyone knows that the Redskin is you. Who's going to have ownership? Like, what's the responsibility of using this likeness? Because right now, all throughout the amateur arena, through gaming, it's about likeness. Who's in control of the likeness? So now you sit down with Daniel Snyder and his team, and your team, you're discussing how are we going to deal with this likeness issue. You're using my family member's image to promote your team, but you're not communicating with us on a level that shows that you respect or that we're being compensated for the usage of our likeness. At that moment, Daniel Snyder could say, to hell with you. This is the logo that I paid for and trademarked, and we're going to use it. Or he can say, well, what do you want? We actually get to the root of who exactly this logo represents, because that logo doesn't represent the person on the screen right there.
And what do you mean by that?
It means when I see a picture of Shaka Zulu and people talk about Shaka Zulu, that picture, whether
So
it's
who does
true, hold up, let me finish. When I see a picture of Shaka Zulu, or they make a movie about Shaka Zulu is supposed to represent all of the people that look like him. We're talking about the representation. These names, for instance, if we were to start a sports team today and we want to make a logo, we're going to think about something that's from the area of the city that or the state that we pick to choose our team, and we're going to try to connect it to something in that area, something that's historic, and that has some type of valor and some type of part of the city. So when we look at the Redskins and all of these Native American, it's not just names. These were actually tribes. There were Kansas City Chiefs. I just read a Washington Post article the other day of a man named John Redman. He looked just like the logo for the Washington Redskins. You see what I'm saying? Let's actually learn about the Kansas City Chiefs. Who were the Kansas City Chiefs? Who were the Chicago Blackhawks? Who were the Washington Redskins? Who were the Cleveland Indians? Because now we can make it personable. And now we can put a face and we can put a history behind it of how these organizations got started. You know what I'm saying? And now that can go back to building up the community with pride and dignity, because these names didn't come out of nowhere.